Old school Will is at it again, and today we're talking to every parent that thinks a cruise ship is a daycare center.
Somebody got to say it. These kids on these cruise ships ain't got no home training. Y'all just get on these cruise ships and just turn your kids loose. Just, all right, see y'all. I'm talking about kids just throwing stuff overboard, running all up and down the halls, screaming. And then when somebody say something to one of them, you get upset. I mean, it's gotten bad. Kids walking all on the rails, about to fall off the ship. There's about to be some changes. I'm just letting you know that. Some cruise lines don't even allow kids anymore. Others are coming out with curfew. So all of y'all who are not controlling your kids, you about to mess it up for everybody. You about to make it bad for everybody else who has disciplined kids. Change is coming. I'm telling you right now. Get control of your kids. You need to go back to the old school when you could just give them a look. Remember that? Our parents could just give us a look. And that was it. You knew what was...
Because in 2026, the cruise industry has officially had enough. Carnival, MSC, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian. They are no longer playing with parents. They are no longer negotiating with excuses. They are enforcing rules with real consequences. And some of y'all are not ready for what's coming.
Carnival Cruise Line just proved it will fine parents for teen behavior on board, and not everyone agrees with the outcome. A recent incident aboard Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Dream is getting attention after a 14-year-old and friends damaged an arcade machine. According to the parents, the teens shook and tipped a coin pusher game, causing it to jam. Ship security escorted the teen back to the cabin, and the family waited overnight while the incident was reviewed. The next day, Carnival issued a $500 code of conduct fine plus 1/3 of the repair cost, bringing the total to $763.58. The family was not banned, and there were no criminal charges. The parents publicly supported the consequences, saying their son is grounded and will repay them in full. With many cruisers frustrated by unruly teen behavior, this case stood out because both the parents and the cruise line enforced real consequences. Carnival's ticket contract allows fines up to $500, removal from the ship, or lifetime bans. Some say this is overdue accountability. Others say vacations shouldn't end with four-figure penalties.
Let me make this plain. Cruise ships are not playgrounds. They are floating cities with laws, with policies, with zero patience left. And the number one problem is not the kids, it's the parents. A family aboard Carnival Elation recently went viral after receiving a warning letter from the staff captain. Their 14-year-old broke curfew. First warning. Second violation, $500 fine. Third violation, the entire family removed from the cruise ship and placed on the no-sail list, not just the child, the whole family. And parents online were shocked, but cruise lines were not.
One letter slipped under their cabin door, and this parent's heart stopped. Their 14-year-old son broke Carnival's 1 a.m. curfew on Carnival Elation, and the consequences spelled out in that warning were absolutely terrifying. $500 for a second violation, kicked off the ship and banned from Carnival forever for a third. The mom admitted she wanted to lock her kids in the stateroom for the remaining 3 days of their Bahamas cruise. Here's what happened. The teenager was out past curfew with his 19-year-old cousins, but Carnival's policy is crystal clear. Minors need supervision from someone 21 or older after 1 a.m. The parent mistakenly thought 18 was acceptable, but that costly assumption almost destroyed their vacation and their wallet. This isn't an isolated incident either. Just weeks ago, another teen got slapped with a $500 fine plus repair costs for vandalizing an arcade machine on Carnival Dream. The cruise line implemented this strict curfew back in September 2022 to crack down on unruly behavior, and they're not playing around anymore. Parents, consider this your wake-up call.
Some parents said he was with his cousins. Cruise line said policy says 21 years old, Not cousins, not siblings, not friends. 21, because cruise lines don't operate on feelings. They operate on rules. Then came Royal Caribbean. Passengers complaining about kids running wild. Elevators, buffets, railings, hallways at 1 a.m., and parents standing there, watching. Let me say this carefully. Kids act like kids. Parents are supposed to act like adults.
Okay, what the heck are these parents thinking?
For the love of God, do not let your kids climb up on railings, climb up on chairs, nothing like this. This is why accidents happen. This is how people end up unalived. There are rules in place for a reason on all cruise ships. I don't know what these parents were thinking. I don't know what they were looking at, but this picture was taken on the 16th floor. There is so many things that could have went wrong, not even just for the child. The dad was standing on, it looked like a table. Like, don't do this. Just don't.
This is not about being anti-family. Cruise ships love families, but they are done babysitting adults who refuse to parent. By late 2025, cruise lines stopped reminding and started recording. Warnings go on file. Patterns trigger consequences because insurance companies don't care about excuses, and maritime law doesn't negotiate. Let me tell you the part nobody wants to hear. Some parents use cruises as a vacation from parenting. Kids roam, parents relax, crew becomes the babysitter. And when the warning comes, parents get offended, like the rules were optional. But here's the real reality. Cruise lines are private companies. They can ban you. They can refuse service. They can cancel loyalty status. And they can share records across brands. One bad cruise can end 10 future vacations.
This passenger on board a Royal Caribbean ship is resisting being detained, probably being brought down to the brig, which is the ship's jail. It appears as though Royal Caribbean security personnel are trying to de-escalate the situation, but this passenger is resisting. She thinks that she has the same rights on the ship that she would in terms of an arrest on land. But bear in mind, folks, that the security guards are not law enforcement. This is a private contractual relationship between a passenger and the cruise line. And the contract says, Section D, Section 9, Section E, that they have the right to detain a passenger at any time for whatever reason they feel if that passenger is subjecting themselves, others, crew, or the vessel to some kind of harm, or simply not following the rules and regulations of the cruise line. It's a pretty broad standard. Now, what generally happens is if they're detained at the next port, law enforcement is called and they're usually taken off the ship. But they really don't have any sort of criminal right that you would have in the U.S. on a shoreside issue with law enforcement while they're at sea. You've got international maritime law, you have the law of the flag state of the ship.
So parents in 2026, you better read the rules. You better know the curfews. You better supervise your children, because the responsibility never falls on the child. It falls on you.
When the joke started to escalate, they got into an argument and then a physical fight. Royal Caribbean security immediately kicked them off the ship in Honduras. Then later at one of the shows where you go into the auditorium, you sit down and you watch the show, one of the streamers decided that he was going to stand up and record the show and block the view of other passengers. They asked the streamer to have a seat because he was blocking their view. And instead of sitting down and being courteous, he decides to get into an altercation with the passengers. So a lot of passengers started to go to customer service and security and complain about the streamers streaming all the time, being disruptive in shows and things like that. The captain had enough. The next morning, the other 5 streamers were called down to security office and told that they were being kicked off as well. But also, just know all 7 streamers are banned for life from Royal Caribbean, from cruising with Royal Caribbean, which I can completely understand. Royal Caribbean is fed up and they're so done with the BS. So then they reported that they had to pay an $800 taxi cab fee in order to get to a close airport so that they can fly home. And that airport was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So listen, I don't know about you all, but I can only imagine what these streamers were doing on this ship in order to like build their views up and things like that, being annoying to passengers. I couldn't imagine. So drop down in the comments, how would you feel if you were on a cruise ship or on vacation and it was just a whole bunch of streamers around, just interrupting your vacation, being disruptive, being rude, or whatever the case may be. So I don't blame them for banning them, but hey, that's what you get.
Cruises are still beautiful. Kids are still welcome. Fun is still encouraged, but freedom now comes with boundaries. And cruise lines have drawn the line. If parents won't manage their children, the cruise line will manage the consequences. And if you don't like that, then maybe cruising isn't for you. Old School Will is just telling the truth. Before I get out of here, I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to every subscriber, every listener, every person who stayed all the way to the end of this video. That tells me you're not here for noise. You're here for the truth, conversation, and real life perspective. Old School Will doesn't do this for clicks or trends. I do this for people who still believe in respect, accountability, and thinking for themselves. If this message hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you're subscribed, because these conversations are only getting deeper. I appreciate every single one of y'all for staying with me, supporting the channel, and standing on principle. Y'all stay blessed.